Hi, for those who haven't met me, I'm Susan Hughes. If you're raising a child with ADHD and it feels like nothing's working, please know this. You're not alone, you're not failing, you're just using tools that were never designed for the kind of brain your child has. And that's what I want to talk about today. Why traditional parenting strategies often fail kids with ADHD and the parents, and what we can do instead. So, traditional parenting approaches are based on the ideas that kids won't behave. But if you're parenting a child with ADHD, you'll probably know that it's not about won't, it's often just about can't. But the really important word is yet. They can't do it yet. However, I do appreciate it's still very frustrating to live with. So, what often backfires then is we use consequences without connection, so they're useless because our ADHD brain children don't understand the consequences. We expect compliance, but we don't give them the support because we don't recognize that in the moment they actually need that extra support. And so we may lead to punishment rather than actually problem solving, and problem solving then resolves it for the future. And then the worst part is assuming that behavior is disrespect as opposed to dysregulation or inability to be able to meet expectations in the moment. So what this leads to then for is constant battles, constant fighting with our children. For us, the huge guilt and frustration that goes when you don't know how to handle a situation. There is nothing worse as a parent than watching your child having a meltdown or being really angry or frustrated, and you literally don't know how to help them. I remember the feeling, it's incredibly challenging. So then we end up with a child that feels ashamed because they know they can't meet the expectations, and we feel really lost. And depending on your own background, that feeling of really lost can actually mean you're emotionally dysregulated as well. So, what if there was a better way? A way that allows us to parent and allows us to lean into the unique wiring of your child's brain. A way that reduces conflict and will actually rebuild connection without relying on punishment, without relying on shame, and without actually creating the disconnect. That's what I teach and that's what I share. I'll go deeper into it in the next video, but the heart of it is kids do well if they can. Behavior is a form of communication. So if the child is acting inappropriately, they're actually trying to communicate that the expectations are too high for them at the moment. We need to find ways of supporting them rather than creating shame. And to do that, we need to understand what the issue is. And emotion regulation starts with us. When we're emotion regulated, we can role model that for our children and they can actually learn that also. So I want to share the experience of a couple I worked with recently, Jane and John, and they have been parenting a child who I'll call Molly. All names have been changed. John came from a military background, and Jane felt really, really stuck in terms of what was going on. They were really frustrated, felt really disconnected from their child, and so unsure of what to do next, which caused tension between them, obviously. So that really disempowered feeling, which is a really very unpleasant feeling, and just makes us feel so yuck, makes us feel like we're failing. I'll tell you the rest of the story in the next video tomorrow, because I want to keep this short. But for now, just know this. They felt the same way you might be feeling right now, and what happened next completely transformed the family dynamic and for them and for their next generation. So here's my question for you. What's the hardest part of parenting your child ADHD at right now? I want to make sure I'm responding to what you need right now. So hit reply on the email and let me know. Thank you. Talk soon.